There we are. I think this is right. This is my first time doing this. So today we're here to talk about Tunisian crochet and our group and how everything's gonna go. If people need tips, I'm gonna be starting to do videos, getting more filmed here shortly. I needed to get my craft room cleaned. It was a mess, and I had my granddaughter for a while, so she had taken over the craft room, but it's good. So as we sit here and have coffee and talk crochet, hello Ashley, hello Christina. So far we have several videos, and they're in the albums. We also have them in the files. A lot of people have asked me if I wanted to put them on YouTube. I have thought about putting them on YouTube. The downside to putting them on YouTube is a lot of the times I notice that a lot of people that put videos on YouTube, they don't really go back and answer questions that people ask. And to me, I find that a little frustrating, because I started this because we all wanted to teach. You know, I think that a teaching group, you really need that one-on-one. And, you know, I've gone into chats with many members. I've even gone doing the live video chats to help people. And I like helping. I know many members probably don't realize I wake up with a lot of messages on Messenger to answer in the morning, which it's nice, it's gratifying, because I do love teaching, which is, you know, why I started this group. I believe that, you know, there's plenty of techniques and plenty of things out there, and YouTube is a great place to find some things, but I feel like you don't get the one-on-one. So that's why everything's pretty much kept here in the group. I would like to see our group growing. It's done fabulous on August 1st. That'll be our first year anniversary, birthday. And we're over 5,000 members, which is fantastic in a year. I never imagined that we would grow so fast. I see my name mentioned in other groups about that. This is, you know, my method, my technique. It's cleaner. Hello, Mimi. Hello, Kim. So, a while ago, I brought on Angela, and her and I decided that this would be a fantastic way to teach, and she has been fantastic. I can't say enough. She makes all of the memes and the technological stuff that I haven't exactly figured out how to do yet. Hi, Cheryl. I know that we have lots of videos for the hooks, and we talk about the color changes, and I have been asked to do a few other videos. There actually is an album in the files, or not in the files, under the albums in our group. And hi, Barbara. Under that has video ideas. Unfortunately, I had to take a break from filming, but now that I'm set up, I can, I'll be doing that and getting some filming done. I'm also going to be looking into some new equipment. I've never done this before. I've never even gone live, so all of this is new. So, is there any questions? Why did you join our group? Is there things you'd like to see? Again, like I said, there's a album and it says about something to the effect of videos you'd like to see. So I think that would be great. There's some in there, and there's a lot of suggestions in there, and I will be getting to them here shortly. But right now, I wanted to do the live, and I figured it would be a good way to communicate to all of our members and figure out if there's questions, any problems, troubleshooting, what people would like to hear, and a little bit about myself. I have been crocheting for quite a long time. I picked up Tunisian not too long ago. It's been a few years now. And once I picked it up, the clean lines and everything that went along with graphing, I just thought they were fantastic. And I've been hooked ever since. Pun intended. We have the weekends. I know that many of you have made posts and they have to be approved, and I've gotten a few members that were a little upset about this in the beginning, but with my family life, my fiance, he works out on the road and he drives truck all week, so I literally do not get to see him except for 36 hours on the weekend. So, hi Mimi, yes, it's nice to put a face to my name. So literally I get 36 hours on the weekend with him, so that's why we shut off the posts, because that way we can check in when we have time and, you know, make sure the posts are appropriate. Nobody likes their groups overrun with spam, and the first couple weekends that we didn't do that we weren't going to be on as much. Hi Patty. We did get a lot of spam and a lot of people advertising, and it's so this is the best way I found to be able to do it. So that's why we're closed on the weekend. I think family time is important to everybody. You know, it's important to spend time with family and get that quality time in. Life goes by too fast. Hi Erica. So this is my craft room that I've been posting pictures on my page about. I'm so excited to finally have it done. And my sconces are dry, finally, the ones behind us at the top. I think next week when I do go live, we will be talking about the pillow. It's a pillar cowl that we have going on. I have gotten a lot of questions and messages about that because in the first few rows there's like 36 bobbins that you need to add, and I'm going to talk about the best way that you can add those. A lot of times in my videos I've shown how I crochet over the tail, but that's not really working so well with so many color changes. So I actually am kind of looping the tail over and tying it once. Hi Kim, yes, there is a hard time finding Tunisian graphs. I have found that a lot of the graphs, if you can find, there are several great designers, and then there are some that have patterns written and they don't know either how to do the Tunisian stitch or they don't understand exactly what's involved. So there's a lot of one stitch color changes or broken lines, and I think that's why one of the things that we post is the flyer with the two circles as a great example about what broken lines are. And I've had several graphs that I've purchased that I was in love with, and I've had to go in and actually color in blocks so that it matches the one circle. And when I'm done with this video, I'll post the picture below. Thank you, Linda. I've worked very hard on this room. It's been a long time coming. I'm very proud of it. But like I said, I'm all new to going live, so this is the first time I've done it and was worried about lighting and where to place the camera and what my under eye circles were going to look like, and so I made sure I had a large cup of coffee. I'm a coffee fan. So do we have any questions right now about anything? Is anybody having problems finding our videos? Do we have questions about hooks, stitches you'd like to see videos of? Anything along those lines? Like I said, I will be updating some camera equipment and the lighting and tweaking a few things as I learn. I'll be learning with all of you. And like I said, our birthday will be coming up on August 1st, and I'm completely blown away that I see my name in other groups and my color change mentioned and our group mentioned. And I do try to share our group on my personal page to maybe try to influence some new members. I know that there's a lot of Tunisian groups out there that are great and they share patterns and things, but I find a lot of them, if you want something, you know, they're like, oh, well, head over to YouTube. Not everything is on YouTube. There's some really great Tunisian stuff. My favorite hooks. I have several sets, and I have gotten so many videos, or I've done 2 videos, which I talk about the hooks. My favorite are the Knitter's Pride. I tried the Caspian set. They were a bit rounded. Somebody said that they ordered the Knitter's Pride and theirs was a bit rounded. But I think they got theirs from overseas. I'm not sure. I've gotten mine from Walmart and Amazon. Color changes. How do you do Graphghans and not have the colors show up in the back? Brenda, we don't, I'm sure that you've probably seen the videos. I've seen your name around here quite a bit. I don't lock the bobbins in the way that it teaches on YouTube. I learned that way, and I seen that the lines were so fantastically clean in TSS, but then when I got my first project done, I noticed that from locking the bobbins in, you have a very distinct dotted line that goes around it. It is clean, but I didn't like it, so I went and messed around with several. It felt like thousands of methods, and this is the best method that I found. So we don't lock them in. Basically, you're going under 2 stitches twice, but you're using the stitch only. You're using the stitch twice for the color changes. It's kind of hard to explain in person. That's why I did the video. Let's see. Is there a way to incorporate your tails as you need for weaving ends in? When I do a new bobbin, I usually crochet over my tails. There is a video on starting a new bobbin and crocheting over and under the tails. I find that method pretty much locks them in because of the way that the Tunisian stitch is made. I tend to leave my tails probably about 6 to 8 inches long and work over them. And I work over them as much as I can. If you have a long stretch of color for your color change, then it's fantastic to work over them. Unfortunately, with a lot of graphs like photogans and very detailed ones, then you work over them those 2 or 3 stitches, and then I do go back in and weave. I have been asked to do a video on how to weave my tails in, and I will be doing that shortly. I go through the purl bumps on the back. So what you have is the loops on the back, and I go in and out of those to weave my ends in, and usually I will go one way and then go back the opposite way. Unless I'm using a real thick yarn, then sometimes I will go the one way and then I will go up into the pattern. How do you determine the amount of yarn needed for the project, Erica? I have done polls in the group and several people answered. I think we got like about 500 people that answered. I know that people do not like to do swatches. They find them a pain in the backside. But I do find with different yarns you get different lengths that you need for yarn. Typically with the yarns that I've tested, I've found that with a J hook and my tension, I like to do the swatch, and if you do 10 rows or 10 stitches wide and about 10 rows high, that you grasp the yarn from your last stitch and you frog that, and then you go back to the beginning stitch and you measure that, and that will tell you how much you need per each 10 stitches, and you divide that to get your inches. I've mainly found that I use about 2.5 inches of yarn per stitch with a J hook for a Graphghan. So most of the projects that we do now in here, like the cowl that we're doing, I have estimated 3 inches because that will give you enough for tails. Have you done any TSS graphs where you can see the picture one way and not the other? I don't think so. Most of mine are reversible, which is why I have the color change. And as far as somebody asked above about backing them, I have backed some of mine. There's a great video by Mikey in the Crochet Crowd, and he uses the skip blade, which I have used, and done the crochet around, which is, it's great for an adult blanket, I found, but your back is not attached to your Graphghan. It's only attached around the edges. And so when you pick your blanket up or you use your blanket, that backing needs to be attached, especially for little ones. I actually talked to, consulted an attorney, because there's so many ins and outs with crochet that choking hazards, and you know, I've talked to him about buttons and, you know, age appropriate things, and he said that if you're going to add a backing on an infant one, that it would be best to go in and attach about every 4 inches. So I have gone and I went in and I attached every 4 inches by using the purl bump in the back, and I did go through 2 of them so that I had a good connection. As far as bobbins, I've pretty much tried everything. I've tried the small clothespins, the jumbo clothespins. I ended up taking my fiance and we ended up walking through Home Depot and coming up with the bobbin stand that I have. I like it because the bobbins spin. It'll be celebrating its 5th year anniversary here pretty soon too, and I do love it. There's I have more vertical room than I do horizontal, so I needed something that stood up. I really don't have access to working on a table since I cook it and package meat and am always cooking from scratch. My table is a major asset, so it can't be covered. So I found that the vertical stand is fantastic for me. I've added more shelves. The bottom has casters. Where did you find the blade? The skip blade I actually found at Joann's Fabrics. It's in the sewing section, and you have to buy it separate than the regular. I think I got Fiskars, and I like that one. The bobbin holder, yeah, I will be showing that in the next episode. It's in my living room right now. I started a Graphghan, and my customer put half down, and her family member had a falling out, so I either have to frog it or finish it. I was thinking I could finish it maybe after Christmas time and get it donated. I do donate a lot of my work, and I do get swamped with orders. I usually do at least 10 Graphghans a year, plus I usually get swamped with regular crochet orders as well. Yeah, Michael's and AC Moore's. My craft stores around me are very limited. I have to drive about 45 minutes to Washington, Pennsylvania, which is where they have a Michael's, a Joann's, and the Hobby Lobby. So I have to drive. I have to plan an outing to go get yarn and the supplies I need. We do have a Joann's Fabrics by me in Belle Vernon, Pennsylvania, but it's extremely small and it never has what I need, unfortunately. So I usually have a list that I run during the week, and then when the weekend comes, I see who's got what on sale and plan accordingly what yarn I need and where I'm going to get it from. Yes, you can get it at Amazon. I have gotten some stuff from Joann's when they have the I think it's if you buy like $50 you get free shipping or whatever. I will order that way, but I usually wait until I can get free shipping. I like to save money where I can, you know, as well as I think everybody else does. When you save money, you have more to buy more crafts. But hi Bobby, we spoke this morning. I hope that you understood what I was showing or explaining, and that you are picking it up. It takes a little bit. Tension is it takes a lot, you know, and that's one thing I have found. I have had members message me that they hate my color change, and you know, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's a way to learn, and I think that, hi Angela, I find that it takes a little practice. You know, I know that some people don't like it because a lot of people don't like to do the swatches, and they don't like to do the practice. I find that there are some people that just immediate gratification is what they want, and unfortunately some things take a little practice, and this is one of them. When I first, like I said, when I did my first piece and I seen the dotted lines from locking bobbins in, I was like, if this is the back of Tunisian crochet, I don't know if I want to do this. And so I came up with I watched a bunch of methods and brought a ton of things into it, and this is what I found works. It does take a little practice. One of our members did I think it's Susan, did Tinkerbell, and she was very unhappy with it in the beginning, and she was like, you know, and then she started a second one and it came out fantastic. And So she ended up finishing Tinkerbell. I told her, you know, I think that we all have that one project that when we're starting and we're learning, that it's great to hold on to, just to see, God, look how far I came. You know, I'm doing this now and it's coming out fantastic. Yes, it is going through the 2 stitches. I've seen some members have problems with it because there's a separate video for the 1 or 2 stitch color changes. I just couldn't get the video that long to include all of the examples, so there is a separate video for that. But like I said, tension plays a good part of it. You're going to get a feel from it. It takes a little while, you know, it takes a little bit on tugging on your bobbins on the forward pass and the return pass to make sure that your stitch on your hook is tight, because sometimes when you're working across and back the stitch, especially if you have 1 or 2 stitches on there of a different color and adding the bobbin, that tail also will need tightened just a bit. So sometimes after I do about 5 rows, any of the ones that have tails like that you can just see the stitch is extremely long, it's because the tail where you joined the bobbin has caused the stitch to loosen up. But if you tug on the tail on the back of the project, then I find that you'll see how it tightens up. What else? As far as hooks, I have some videos on the ones that are the most popular. Like I said, the Caspian, to me, the ends were a bit rounded, so it was a bit hard to pick up. Originally, when I started, I had the 14-inch long metal hooks. They're nice for projects that are small. I found that they get extremely heavy. I know that people say, oh, I cram all these stitches on there, and you can. But I find that Tunisian crochet has a lot in common with knitting. The more stitches you cram on, the heavier your project is to work off and on. It's not good for your shoulder. It's not good for your wrist. It's you know, it's personal preference. People do it. But those hooks are extremely heavy too. And with the Knitter's Pride, it's a laminated birch. It's a very strong wood. I've never had one break on me personally. I had one break that was broken shipping, and it was the little teeny weeny, I think it's an E, and the tip of it was broke, and Amazon was great about replacing it. The Denise set, I do have that. I do teach out in the community on at a local place, and a lot of the students do get to try the Denise and the Knitter's Pride and the Caspian and choose what they like. The Denise, to me, I really didn't like the cables that much. They were a bit thick for me, and the hooks were extremely short. I know it's a huge change from going from a fixed 10 or 14-inch hook down to even the 7-inch Knitter's Pride and the 5-inch Denise hooks. I found many people that do like them. I have had students order them from my class that have tried them, and they do like them. To me, they just didn't fit right in my hand. They didn't feel right. You know, a normal crochet hook is 7 inches in the Knitter's Pride. The Caspian hooks, the Addy hooks, they're all the 7 inches, so I find those better. I do find the Knitter's Pride hooks sell a lot with my students, especially because when you're first starting, you get so much more in the set. You get your cables, you get the stoppers, you get a whole set of hooks, and the cables are a decent length too. When I ordered the Denise set, I had to order the longer cables separately, so that's an added expense as well. Do we have any more questions? So I do find those hooks better. I actually ended up ordering 2 sets of the Knitter's Pride hooks so that I could do Tunisian in the round, because I do like the hook set so much. I have a video on the Denise set that shows the difference. I've been asked to do one on the Addie Click ones, but I do have one, but you have to order everything separately. So I will be doing that and ordering at least the J, because that seems to be my favorite hook size, is the J. The K, my gauge I get for that is the 4 stitches wide, but I get 3 stitches tall, and I find that is fantastic if I'm doing a Graphghan that has a square count, like 200 by 200. I do keep a notebook where I have marked down like what my gauge is for like the J hook getting 4 stitches wide, and I get I basically get 4 rows high. It's just a pinch off, so my Graphghan still, Tunisian is a little bit higher of a stitch. I've had several members ask too about doing the one of our cows in the Tunisian knit stitch. So I probably will be doing a tutorial on maybe our heart that Angela was so nice to make for us, and doing that in a Tunisian knit stitch to give I think that would be a great example. Do we have any other questions before I sign off for the end of the evening? It's been great seeing everybody join us. And thank you for complimenting my craft room. I'm pretty proud of it and how it's come out. And again, we have an album in our group that talks about videos you would like to see me make. So feel free to go in there and add suggestions in there. I'm always open to suggestions, learning and teaching more too. I will be doing one about tails, how to weave your tails, in here shortly as well. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a great evening and try to stay dry. It's raining here in Pennsylvania. Have a great evening. Thank you.